this morning, and she says, I'm on the highway and I'll be here. I'm like, what? I want you to know I almost blew it. He called, because his wife called earlier, then he called me, wanted to know, well, what we're supposed to do. I said, just be here at 5 o'clock. And then I almost said, well, do we need to do anything? And I'm like, no, just be here. I said, we have a letter that someone nominated you. And I didn't say, or did I say your daughter? Yeah, I said your daughter. And I'll be reading it. And then I'm like, no. And then I was going to say, oh, she'll be reading. But good thing I didn't say anything. Girl, you do your thing.
Daddy, please. Daddy, please, just give me 2 minutes. See, a son without a father is like a Marine without a compass. He passes over the same terrain millions of times, but he never seems to correct his mistakes because he has no one to guide him. I've taken courses in algebra, geometry, and chemistry, but never have I taken a course in manhood. You were supposed to teach me that. But instead, I learned from substitutes. BET, MTV, porno magazines, and the so-called gangsters in my hood. I remember the day that Mom said that you were going to pick me up, and I sat on the couch, and I waited for you. But you never showed. I stood there for hours, in the same spot. That was the first time that I saw Mama cry, and the last time I heard her call you my daddy. How could you go through 18 years acting like, pretending, like you didn't have a son? Not one time did I hear you call and say, happy birthday. I love you, son. Congratulations. When you were brought forth out of your mother's womb into this world, you came. When Uncle Sam called you into the military, into the armed forces, you went. But when responsibility called you to be a father, did you go? No, you turned and walked away. I'm a theater arts teacher in Dallas, Texas. And praise God, that was not my father. Rather, one of the students that I taught in a school that I taught at for 10 years, Samuel High School, wrote that monologue. And unfortunately, that's a monologue that you hear a lot of young people say. And so, in today's day and age, it is hard to find an honorable man. And by honorable, I mean someone who says what he means and means what he says. By honorable, I mean that his word truly is his bond. I'm talking about a man who follows through, even to the point of great personal sacrifice. A man who quietly looks after his own family, and by extension, helps look after others who come to be a part of this family, whether they're adopted children, whether they're the neighbor's kids, or just kids who've had the pleasure of having him as their gym coach, their teacher, or their mentor. In this day and age, it's really rare to find someone who can stay on a job for over 30 years, who can live in the same house for several decades, or stay married to the same person for over 25 years. And if I didn't know him personally, my words might sound contrived or embellished. But ask anyone who knows him. 9 out of 10 will agree with me, and the 10th will tell you even greater things. That Willie C. Owens is a mighty good man. My dad is someone who not only loves God, but fears God, and instills these traits in his children: honor, devotion, and commitment. When it comes to helping others, I've never heard him say no if he discerns that that person genuinely needs a helping hand. He may not be loud and boisterous, but he exudes an inner strength. He has a megawatt smile and an even-keeled temperament, regardless of the storms and the situations that may be brewing around him. I never knew while growing up just how blessed I was to have a father like Willie C. Owens. Many kids have a father, but those fathers may just be present in body, but absent in spirit. Or perhaps those fathers are physically or verbally abusive, but praise God, none of these were ever an issue in my life. So I thank God for having a father like my father. I knew what type of husband would be qualified for me in my life because my dad provided such a great example. My dad is my hero. He's a fine example of what it means to be a father, a a husband, a son, and a God-fearing man. He's an excellent role model for others to follow, and there's no doubt that he is the kind of man that breaks the mold. So I thank the Lord every day for my father, and I pray that the Lord continues to bless him to continue to be a role model for many years to come. I love you, Dad. I pray that God blesses and keeps you. And it's selfish for me to want to keep you all to myself, but I realize that God created you for a special purpose. And this award is just confirmation of what I know about you all my life. I'm glad to see you get the public recognition for the private excellence that you exhibit every day. And I have one final question. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be, I can fly higher than an eagle. 'Cause you are the wind beneath my wings.
Oh, yeah, come on, please.
I have no way to. My daddy, and you know, it was so funny because it's a calling him father, but I've never in my life called you father. I've always called you daddy, because any man can be a father. It doesn't take anything to be a father. It takes so much to be a daddy. And not many know that I am not truly yours by birth, but you took me and you gave me your name. And even when I married, I kept that name because I was so proud of it. Because you are the example of everything that I've ever loved. And through all the many things that you've done for us, I mean, I could go through lists and lists, and you've heard them from all the other daddies that have come, from the fishing, through the sporting events and all that. The things that stand out in my mind is one day I was practicing with you and your baseball team, and I was shortstop, and someone did a hard drive to shortstop, and it was straight to me, and I caught that ball, and you could hear that thunk, and I threw the ball to the first baseman, which was you, which I thought was the most courageous place to play, because I could never play first place, having somebody run at me at 30 miles an hour at any given time. And no one said anything at all. And I threw the ball to you, and you threw the ball back to the catcher. And the only words I heard was, "Good Owens job." Oh, good job, Owens. And whenever I've done anything that you have found spectacular, those have always been the exact words you've used. And when I walk through the gates of heaven, I want to hear those words straight from you. Good job, Owens. I love you, Daddy, with all my heart. I'm nothing without you.
Willis E. Owens, come on down. Camp Excel presents the Color Him Father Award to Willie C. Owens.
I just want to thank Matt and his organization Excel for this award, and it's something that I guess when I was a youth coming up in Chicago, we didn't have a lot of role models, I would say. But as I was looking at the past recipients on this, and this is really a great ideal, and it's something that, looking at the past recipients, it's just, I just enjoy being a part of. So thank you.
Okay, last but not least,